Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am currently in a reading slump again. I feel like I just filmed a video of me being in a reading slump and trying to get out of it, but here we are again in a reading slump. And so I thought it would be fun to do a reading challenge because reading challenges always seem to get me out of a reading slump and get me excited about reading again. So I am going to do a reading challenge of letting Siri decide how many chapters I read every day. Today's Friday, November 7th. I'm starting this on a Friday and I am really excited for this. So I'm currently in the middle of 3 books, as is always when I'm in the reading slump, because nothing sounds interesting to read. So first of all, I'm reading Dear Henry Love Edith. I've been reading this ebook for a while now, I'm ashamed to say, but I am enjoying it a lot. It's very different than my typical style, I feel like. And then I also have been reading the Harry Potter series. I started this a little while ago and I was reading it really slowly, and then I haven't read it at all since then, really. And so I do want to finish this soon. I wanted to finish this before October. It's now November. I need to get this done. And I'm really excited to read this series. I just need to get back to it. And then I recently started The Sound of Light. I'm not very far into it at all. Chapter 9. I also just got through Each Tomorrow by Gabrielle Meyer, which is book 6 in the Timeless series, and I cannot wait to read this book. I've also heard that this book has like the craziest plot twist, and so I cannot wait to read this book. I don't know if I should force myself to finish the other books before I can jump straight into this book. I don't know yet which one I'm going to do. I'm feeling slumpy, so going to like a Timeless series book could be good to get me out of my reading slump, so I might just do that, but we'll see. First, I'm going to see how many chapters I need to read today, and then maybe that'll help me decide which book to read. I am also going to say that this is the minimum number. I can go over if I choose to. I'm just going to preface it with that because there is a chance where I'm just so engulfed into the story of a book that I don't want to stop, or I might want to read a chapter or two before I go to bed, but I already reached my limit. And so I'm not going to stop myself from reading if I do go over my limit, but I want to do at least as many as Siri tells me. I'm going to be really ambitious and say 1 through 50, and we'll see what happens. So pick a number between 1 and 50.
It's 1.
1? I'm going to redo it because I just feel like that's not a good number. Pick a number between 1 and 50.
It's 26.
26. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of chapters, depending on the book. Okay, I like that a lot better than 1 chapter. That would be horrible. 26, I'm going to start this new book, I think. Get 26 chapters into through Each Tomorrow. I think that would be really fun. I am now on chapter 2 of this book, and the Timeless series, it follows different people who live multiple lives. Specifically in this book, we're following a character from book 1 who our main character Libby runs into in book 1, who is also a time crosser who has 2 different lives. And I am so intrigued to read this book now, and I'm just so interested because it's a character that I kind of know about, and so like we get to see more backstory about that. I'm already shocked at his upbringing because it's already not what I thought it was, and I'm just so intrigued. I can't believe this. I'm so excited to read this book. Like, I'm so glad I picked this. I'm already feel myself getting out of my slump because I just love the Timeless series so much. So anyway, I'm going to continue reading. I'm just on chapter 2. And I haven't read a whole lot, or I guess I have kind of been reading for a long time. I feel like I'm a pretty slow reader, especially when I first start a book. It really takes me a long time to get the plot, get what's going on, and like understand the setting of the book and everything. And especially with the Timeless series, I feel like it takes a lot of brain power to understand what time they're in, and like it takes me a long time to understand like what year is it, what's going on at this time of the year. I'm really interested to learn more about 1883, and I think the other one's 1563 and 1883, but it does take me a little while to understand what's going on. It did take me a long time to get through chapter 1, but anyway, I'm so excited. I'm going to continue reading this. I have to read 26 chapters today. It's only 1 o'clock right now. It looks like dark because it is so rainy, but like there's still so much day left, and I'm so excited that I get to just read all day. My husband is at a conference, so I don't even have to like worry about watching TV. I'm so excited. Anyway, I'm yapping. I'm going to continue reading this book. I'm really intrigued by it. And yeah, I'll just continue updating you on my thoughts without giving spoilers because I really think everyone should read the Timeless series. And it is so fun to go into it like not knowing anything at all. And there is a lot of plot twist in these books, so I really don't want to spoil any of the plot twist, even the plot twist from the other books. So I'll try not to say too much, but I'm really intrigued. Hello again. I'm now on chapter 4, and that third chapter was very long. And I'm starting to realize that these chapters are not as short as I thought they were. Sarah Sundin is another one of my favorite authors. Her chapters are like very short. Like usually she has a book that's like over 50 chapters. And it's still like 300 to 400 pages, so it's very short. This book is probably only going to be about 30 chapters, and it's also 300 to 400 pages. 26 chapters is going to be a whole lot to read of this book, but I'm still going to read as much of it as I can. I mean, who knows, I might get 26 chapters in tonight, but I can always split up chapters between books. So I might just read 10 chapters in this book and 16 chapters in another book or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be that I read all 26 chapters in this book. Hello again. It is now 6:45. I am almost done with dinner. I have just been reading. I did get distracted by my phone at one point and started watching reels instead of reading. After that, I was really regretting doing up to 50 chapters. Thank goodness it was way less than that, only 26, but even that seems like so much. I think I'm only on chapter 7 right now. I still have so much to go. I still have 20 more chapters to go tonight. The other book that I'm reading on my phone. I think I have 6 chapters left of that book. And so that still doesn't get me anywhere close to my goal for today. As I was cooking, I actually started listening to an audiobook. So I found this audiobook that is a Christmas audiobook since we are getting into the more Christmas season. It's a very short audiobook. I think it was only 2 hours long. So I was like, okay, this will work while I'm cooking. And so I've read 3 chapters on that book plus 6 chapters in this book. So that's 9 chapters altogether. I'm feeling a little bit better after that. I don't know. I'll probably just continue reading this, try to read as much of this as I can, and then eventually I'll switch over to that ebook. And if I absolutely have to, I can read that Sarah Sundin book, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. Hey, hello again. It is now 9:45 and I am currently making a apple fritter cake. We have so many apples and so I just needed to get rid of them. And so I thought that a cake might be yummy. And so I can't wait to try it. It looks so good and it smells so good. But I don't remember the last time I gave an update. I read 12 chapters of Through Each Tomorrow, book 6 of the Timeless series. And then I finished a complete audiobook. I can't remember the title of it now. I think it's So This Is Christmas or something like that. Very short, only 9 chapters. So altogether I have read 21 chapters and so I have 5 chapters left to read. I think I'm just going to try to finish the ebook that I'm currently reading instead of reading more of the Timeless book. I think I'll probably wait to read more of that tomorrow unless I get more intrigued. I don't know. Right now, my thoughts about the Timeless book is it is a bit of a slower start than what I'm used to. Well, the first few books of the Timeless series actually probably had a slower start. The 5th book specifically really hooked me quick and I could not put it down. And so I guess compared to the 5th book, it's different. But usually the Timeless series books do take a little bit for me to get into them, but they have amazing plot twists that keep me engaged, and then something happens and then I can't put the book down. And we haven't really had too much of that yet in the Timeless series. We did have one pretty big plot twist in my opinion, and there's still a lot going on that I don't know all the answers to, and so I'm really intrigued to see what happens. But at the same time, we haven't seen a super big plot twist or anything. And I'm still intrigued, I'm still interested in it, but I probably won't read any more of that tonight just because the chapters are a bit lengthier and I still have 5 more chapters to go. So I'll probably just try to finish my ebook. I think I have 6 chapters left in that book, and so if I just finish it tonight, that'll be good, or at least read the 5 chapters of it tonight. Hello again. It is the next day. Yesterday I had to read 26 chapters. It was not easy, but we kind of did it. So yesterday I read 12 chapters of Through Each Tomorrow, or Through Each Tomorrow by Gabrielle Meyer, book 6 of the Timeless series. This book is good. It is a little bit slow starting, but I'm expecting it to really pick up soon. And I am very intrigued on what's going to happen in this book. This is our first book with a male time crosser, and there's actually 2 male time crossers in this book. And the one male time crosser and his stepsister, it's a dual POV between the 2 of them. So it's really intriguing, very interesting. I can't give too much information without giving spoilers, but I do plan talking about and giving a full review of all the books I read in this vlog at the end of the video, so I'm going to save most of that for the end. But I am very intrigued by this book. It's very interesting. I can't wait to continue reading it. Maybe we'll finish it today. I don't know. We will see. I have to see how many chapters are for today. And then I actually listened to an audiobook, and it was Can This Be Christmas? And this is a story about a bunch of different people who are like stuck in this train station, and so they are very grumpy, moody. It's Christmas time, right? I think it's Christmas Eve, I don't remember. The train is stuck for whatever reason, and so they're all very grumpy. They all have their own problems going on. Like, one couple just adopted a baby, and it's much harder than they thought it would be. One person is recently divorced, I think. One woman just lost her husband and is going to visit her daughter and grandchildren for Christmas. Like, there's just a lot of people with very unique backgrounds and different stories, but they all are complaining and grumbling and just not having a great time at all. But they end up coming together to try to make it be a nice Christmas, and they end up learning what the true meaning of Christmas is. And it was just a really beautiful story. I really enjoyed the story a lot, and like listening to it was really fun. I just think it was like the perfect Christmas book to get me into the spirit of Christmas and to like want to read a bunch more Christmas stories. I like Hallmark stories, like even watching Hallmark movies, but like the Hallmark Christmas books I like too. But there's just something about a book that like has a deeper meaning behind it and that shows you the true meaning of Christmas that just is so much better, and like just makes my heart so happy and makes me so excited for Christmas. And so I really specifically enjoyed this book a lot. I was looking for audiobooks that were available to read immediately, and I looked specifically in the Christian and fiction section, and I wanted like a Christmas one, and so I just clicked on the first Christmas one I found. I wouldn't really label it as Christian because there wasn't really a lot of faith themes in it, and they did have some language in it, but it was still a good Christmas book and I enjoyed it a lot. So that book was 9 chapters, so 12 chapters from Through Each Tomorrow, 9 chapters from Can This Be Christmas, and then I had 5 chapters left for the night. And so I decided to read a book I was already reading on my phone, Dear Henry Love Edith, and I only had 7 chapters left or 8 chapters left of it, but last night I only read 3 chapters of it. I ended up getting too tired to continue, so I only read 3 chapters. This morning I finished the last 2 to make it 26 chapters. I hope to finish this book today, definitely. It was kind of hard for me to get into just because it was so different of a book, but it is really funny and like really ridiculous. Like, it's just the silliest things. Like, it's not realistic in a lot of ways. It's just really silly, and there's a lot of miscommunication in it as well. Like, the whole plot of the book is a huge miscommunication. So if you're not into that trope, I wouldn't really recommend this book. If you're not into rom-com, I definitely would not recommend this book. But it is really funny. It is really silly. It is really easy to read and just like an easy palate cleanser book. And so I am enjoying it. I'm like 2 chapters left now. If there's an epilogue, I do not count that as a chapter just because those are usually shorter, and I just feel like those don't count. Anyway, that's all. So now it is time to see how many chapters I get to read today. It's 12 o'clock on the dot right now on a Saturday, so I do have plenty of time where I can read. I really do not want to spend the whole day reading like I did yesterday. That was not fun for me, and if I did not have that audiobook, I would not have been able to make it. And so I'm definitely going to try to do less chapters today. Whenever I read my other book, I will up the number of chapters again, but since I'm reading Through Each Tomorrow, and these chapters, they're not super long, but they are longer chapters, I am going to put a max at 20 chapters. but I'm also going to put a minimum of 5 chapters. I want to do 10, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like even 10 chapters is kind of a lot. So I'm going to put a minimum of 5 chapters and do from 5 to 20 chapters today and see what they give us. I don't know how many chapters are in this book, but I think there's usually 30 chapters or like right around 30. So potentially there are like 17 chapters left of this book, or is it 27? 27, sorry. There's potentially 27 chapters left of this book. So I don't know if I'll finish this today, and I also don't know if I want to. I like dragging out the books and like enjoying it and savoring it. I don't want to just rush through it. The last book, I did rush through it just because there was a huge mystery involved and I wanted to get to the bottom of it, and I could not put it down until I knew everyone was okay and what was going on. So that's the reason why that book was a little bit different. But like usually I just like to savor through it, and so I don't know if I'll finish this book or not. Like I said, I have this book and my ebook to read. I also can even read some Harry Potter if I want, which I do really want to finish that book as well. Let's just see how many chapters I have today, and then we can figure out what I want to read. Pick a number between 5 and 20. Oh, it didn't say it. It picked 10. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can see that, but it does say 10. I don't want to redo it because then it's not going to say the same number. And I think 10 is a good number. Like I said, like 10 seems like a lot, but at the same time, like it's a reasonable number that I feel like I can accomplish for sure. I'm sorry if I look a mess, and you might be able to hear my husband in the background singing in the shower. But I just got to the plot twist in this book, and oh my goodness. I just want to say it, but I won't. I can't. I was not expecting that one. I feel like there's been a few plot twists or like crazy things that have happened in this book, but I've been able to guess every single one. I have guessed every single big plot moment that has happened so far in this book, but this one I was not expecting, and I am shocked. And I really want my husband to read this book because I can't wait to see his reaction to this. I know he'll love this. Anyway, wow, I'm shocked. Also, this is my last chapter to make 10 chapters, I think. Yeah, this is my last chapter. This is my 10th chapter of the day that I'm almost done with, and I don't think there's any way that I can stop here. So I'll probably read more than 10 chapters today. Pick a number between 1 and 20. The answer was 3. Hello, it is the next day. I did end up reading 10 chapters last night. I actually read 11 chapters yesterday of Through Each Tomorrow. This is the only book that I read yesterday, and I got really far into it. I saw the plot twist, which I can't remember if I said anything about that or not, but I did see the plot twist. I wouldn't say that it's the biggest plot twist of the Timeless series, but it was really fascinating to me. And immediately after I read it, I told my husband that he needs to read this book. And so this is his bookmark because he started it, but I don't have a bookmark because I actually finished this book today. So today, this morning, I asked Siri how many chapters I should read, and it said 3, which was too small of an amount. I've already read way more than that, and I feel like I'm going to read even more today. I said pick a number between 1 and 20 because I wasn't sure that I would have a lot of time to read today since it is Sunday. And we basically are at church all day on Sundays, so I wasn't sure that I would have a whole lot of time to read, but I still wasn't expecting such a low number as 3. I don't know how many chapters I read, but I'll have it on the screen because I will be doing all the math and calculating this later. I don't feel like doing that right now. But after reading this book has a lot of connections to the past Timeless books, and so I really want to go through and read all the Timeless books again. Plus, I am in like a massive reading slump right now, so I feel like the best thing to do is just to reread favorites that you know that you like. So I'm actually going to reread the Timeless series, starting with book 1 and going to book 5, maybe rereading this again. I doubt that I'll reread this book though, because this definitely was not my favorite of the series, or like even like one of my favorites of the series, but it was still really good and intriguing and left me wanting a lot more. So I cannot wait for book 7, which I know is going to feel like it's going to take forever to get here. But Gabrielle Meyer is really good about writing her books, and she's very punctual about it, and like I don't know how she comes up with them and is able to publish them so soon after one another. A new book will come, if I'm not mistaken, in May of next year, so that's really not that long when you think of it in the grand scheme of things, but that still is a long time to wait. So I'm going to reread the whole Timeless series starting with book 1. I didn't know if I wanted to start with book 1 or book 3 because both book 1 and book 3, they're both key themes of this book. A lot of book 3 is hinted at in a lot of book 1, obviously, because this is a character from book 1. So I didn't think I was going to reread book 1. I thought I might just start with 3. But I kind of feel like I forget things really fast, and book 1 is just so nostalgic for me that I think I actually will start with book 1 and read through to book 5. And book 5 too, like I feel like I'm going to need to reread that one too because there was probably stuff in that book that I missed too. According to the Timeless discussion page on Facebook, like there's stuff that happened in that book that I do not remember, and so I'm going to have to go back to it knowing all that I do now. Anyway, needless to say, I'm going to read way more than 3 chapters today, and then I'll probably see you tomorrow to see how many chapters I read then and to see what book to read next because I still do not know. Hello, I completely forgot to do this yesterday. So yesterday I really didn't read much. It was Monday. We actually ended up decorating our tree, which I think I'm going to do for another video. We just spent the day together. We played a lot of games and stuff, and so I actually really didn't read. I might have read like a little bit in bed and like in the morning, but other than that, I really didn't read much. I don't know what the last update you saw was, but I did finish reading, what was the title? Book 6 of the Timeless series. For some reason, my mind is blanking on the title of that book. It was so good. I enjoyed it so much. I basically gave my thoughts, I think, as the story went on. It was very good. I enjoyed it so much, especially like near the end. Like I didn't want to stop reading it. Like I didn't want to finish the book because I was like, I love reading the Timeless series and you only get them every so often, and so it's very sad for me when the book's over, and so I try to space it out as long as possible, but it is so hard because it just gets so good and I can't stop reading it, and so I just keep reading it, and eventually I'm at the end of the book and there's nothing I can do about it. So at the end of the book, I decided I wanted to reread the whole Timeless series, and I feel like I did say this before because I remember saying these words, but the first book, the third book, maybe the fourth, but definitely the fifth, are all like intertwined into the book, the sixth book, and so it's been a while since I've read those books, and so I want to do a whole reread, and so I have been reading, I just said and so many times, sorry. I want to do a reread of When the Day Comes, and so I just said it again. I have been reading that book, and I've just been slowly reading it. I'm not very far into it, but I did read that book before. So today we're going to start the challenge back up, and I'm going to read something else for the challenge because I did already read these books, but I'm still going to go through the whole Timeless series at the same time, and that won't be included in my regular chapters of reading. It is 1:47, so we're kind of late in the afternoon, but we still have plenty of day left. So I'm going to say in between probably 10 at the least because I have not been getting very high numbers. So I feel like 10 at the least and maybe like 25 at the max. 50 would be way too much, I think. Oh wait, but I am going to start a new book. Hold on, I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. I do have an ARC read that is due in 10 days actually, because I think she said she wanted it to be reviews by November 21st. Maybe that's when the book comes out. I really don't know. I'm such a bad ARC reader right now. But this is called The Dreaded Christmas Pageant, and I'll try to have like, oh, it kind of is showing up. The Dreaded Christmas Pageant by Caitlin Grace, and she has written other books, but there's a specific book that I pre-ordered for and got like a whole like special box for, and I still haven't read that book yet, but I've been wanting to, like for the last like 2 months I've been planning to read it, and I just haven't read a lot, so I haven't gotten to it. So I'm actually going to read the Christmas novella before I read that book, but I'm really excited to read this author's book, and this book specifically sounds so good. It's been snowing, it's been cold, and it just feels like it's Christmas time now, and so I'm getting really excited to get into the Christmas spirit and to read Christmas books, and so I think I'm going to read this book today. Let's see how many chapters there are. Only 14 chapters, so a short book. We might even read this all today, who knows. Let's see how many chapters I have to read today. If it's more than 16, then we might be reading more than one book. I still haven't finished Dear Henry, Love Edith, by the way. and I need to finish that book. I just haven't. So maybe we'll finish that one today. We will see. But anyway, let's just see how many chapters I read today. Pick a number between 10 and 25.
The answer is 16.
16, exact number of chapters in the Christmas pageant. So maybe we'll just read that whole book today. We'll see. Or maybe I'll split it up between other books. I do have a little bit of a better idea about what the book is about now. First of all, this story is already bringing me so many Christmas feels, and it's just like a Hallmark movie that I would love to watch. But basically, this woman is in charge of running the Christmas pageant from her church. And it is an ex-boyfriend, actually an ex-fiance. He broke off an engagement with her, don't know how long ago, but he recently moved into town, or they recently bumped into each other or something, because they were both at the same church, but they were both avoiding each other. Because she was avoiding him, she said yes to doing the Christmas pageant. The pastor went outside and was talking to him after he left, and he is also doing the Christmas pageant, and so they're all going to meet together soon to talk about her for said Christmas pageant. And so they're going to run into each other, and it's just, I'm just already loving it and so excited to see what is going to happen. Now on chapter 3, there is a huge chance that I'll finish this book today, because it is very short. The chapters are very short, and there's only 16 of them. The book is actually only 113 pages long. And so there's a huge chance that I'll end up finishing this book today, but I am so excited. And that's another great thing about Christmas novellas, is that they're short, so it makes you seem like you're reading a lot more books, because you are, but they're shorter books. And my reading goal this year was 120 books, and I am so far behind. And so reading Christmas novellas is going to be a great way for me to catch up on my goal. But anyway, I just made myself some hot chocolate, and I'm so excited to drink some hot chocolate and continue reading my Christmas book with my Christmas lights. It's feeling so festive, and I'm so excited. Hello, it is the next day. It is Wednesday, November 12th, and I had to read, I think, 16 chapters yesterday, which I thought the Christmas pageant book, I thought that it was 16 chapters, but it was actually only 14 chapters. So when I finished it, I wasn't expecting it to be done, but I did really enjoy that book. It was short and sweet. It was like a cute Hallmark book, but it also had some of the true meaning of Christmas behind it, and like people coming together to make Christmas good and special and about Jesus again. And so I really enjoyed that about the book. I'll probably have some more thoughts in a bit, but I'm just not ready to talk about it all yet. As soon as I finished that book, I went to Dear Henry Loved Edith, because I knew I had 2 chapters left of that book. I actually had 3 chapters left of that book. And so I just ended up finishing it and reading 17 chapters yesterday, plus a whole bunch of When the Day Comes, because I finished reading at like 7:30 or something, and I was so tired and wanted to go to sleep, but it was not even 8 o'clock yet. And it definitely was not time to go to bed yet, so I just was reading on my phone while my husband and I were like watching movies and stuff, and it was just a comfy night. I went over the limit. I don't really care if I go over the amount. I just don't want to go under the amount. But I did go over 16 chapters, but I feel good about that. I feel accomplished. I feel like I'm getting a lot more reading and doing it this way, and like it really doesn't take that much time to read 10 chapters. And so I just feel like I'm getting back into the reading spirit and wanting to read books again. And I have so many books that are on my TBR that I want to finish before the year's over. And I'm also super behind on my reading goal. I just feel like really determined to get through my TBR and to finish these books before the year ends. But let's just see how many chapters I have to read today. Pick a number between 10 and 40.
It's 28.
28 chapters today. That is a lot, but we can do it. I believe in myself. It's still early in the day. We still have a lot of day left. I do have church tonight. I feel like 28 is definitely doable. I will share more thoughts about those books that I finished later on, but let's just read 28 chapters today. I'll be honest with you, I've barely done any reading today. I think I was supposed to read 28 chapters, and I don't know how in the world I'm going to do that. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought that would be doable today. I did listen to an audiobook. I started the next Karen Kingsbury book that I'm in. It's like the later series of the Baxter family. I'm on the second to last one of that. I'll have it on the screen how far along I am and stuff in that book. I just was not in the mood to actually sit and read a book. I wasn't feeling good earlier, and so I I literally took a nap, but I was doing some bullet journaling today, which was really fun. I hadn't bullet journaled in a little while, so I kind of caught up in my bullet journal a little bit. So I just listened to my audiobook while I continued working on my bullet journal a little bit. I did try to read The Sound of Light, but I just am not in the mood to read this book right now. I did read one chapter of it, and I think I actually need to go back and start this book all over again because I have no idea what's going on. And even when I was reading it, I was getting very lost. The main character's name isn't like an easy one. I don't even know how to pronounce it. That's kind of throwing me off, and I don't really understand the premise of the book. Usually I don't like to read the back of the book just because I don't want to get like spoiled. I like going in completely like with an empty mind about everything. But I think I need to read the back to understand a little bit more what's going on and then restart this book. Maybe I'll start this soon, but I don't think I'm going to read it in this video just because I just don't feel like I'm in the mood for this book right now. So instead, I'm going to read this book. This is by the same author of the book I was reading yesterday. This book that I talked about that I pre-ordered, and I think these have short chapters, so I may be able to get a good bit through this book. I really enjoyed that Christmas book that I read yesterday, and I really enjoyed the writing style. I really liked the way that the author wrote, and so I feel like this might be a good one to read. Since I still have quite a few chapters to read today, I guess. I don't know how many chapters I read of that book, probably like 6 chapters plus that one chapter, so 7 chapters. So I probably have 21 more chapters to go. So we will see if I can get 21 chapters of this book in or not. I could always go back to my audiobook as well. Right now it is, what time is it? I just had my phone and I lost it. I don't know if my stove time is right or not, but according to my stove, it's 8:35. So we will see. I'm going to read this book. I'm really excited. I hope it's good. I really liked this author's writing style, so I think this will be an easy read and short chapters, which is definitely what I need since I have to read so many chapters today. It is the next day. I don't know how many chapters I read last night. I think I read to chapter 13. I am now on chapter 16 of Finding Home Again. I am really enjoying this book so far. I knew that I would because I've only heard great things about this book. I really love the author's writing style, and the actual premise of the book is really interesting and has really grasped me, like from the first page, from the prologue. And I might have even said this in this video that I don't think it was in this video, but I really don't read a lot of prologues because they confuse me, and I don't like prologues. I read this prologue and it really intrigued me, and the whole premise of the book just really intrigues me. It has to do with like a drug cartel type of thing, and there was a detective partner who was shot. They were able to catch all of the guys who were part of this big drug thingy except from one person who was the actual killer. And so the guy who died, his partner, has been trying to figure out this case. It's now 7 years later, and he's still trying to find the last person and like figure out this case. And everyone's like telling him that he should just put it to rest, but he just cannot put it to rest. And at the same time, there is this woman who has gotten into a lot of trouble in her past with this specific guy, and this guy is bad news, has done horrible things to her, and she ended up getting pregnant and having a kid. And she finds out that her dad had a heart attack, and so she goes back to see her family. It's been 7 years since she has seen her mom and dad, so she goes with them, and she brings her daughter, and they get to meet her daughter. Her daughter gets to meet their grandparents, and it's just been a great book so far. I'm really enjoying like the prodigal son with the prodigal daughter, and I'm enjoying all of the characters. The romance I'm really enjoying too. Like, it seemed like it was going to be a little bit of enemies to lovers, and there's a little bit of enemies, but not like super high staked enemies. It's just like a little bit of unsureness about the two people, but I really like them, and I really like their relationship, and I really am liking the story so far. And so I'm having a lot of fun with this book, and I am hoping to finish it today. I was thinking about not doing the how many chapters should I read today. I think I just want to try to finish this book today, which I think this book has 31 chapters, and I'm on chapter 16. That's a good bit of chapters, and then we can call this challenge a quits. I think I started this on Friday. I honestly don't remember. We already read a few books, I think, and this book is really interesting and intriguing, so I'm just going to try to finish this today, and then that'll be the end of this challenge. But anyway, I'm going to continue reading this book, and I will let you know my thoughts as I continue to read. I still need to let you know my thoughts on the other 2 books that I read. Hello again. I finally finished Finding Home again, and I loved it. I rated it 5 stars. It was very hard for me to get through like the second half of the book. I was really enjoying the beginning of the book and was super hooked, could not stop reading it. But as I continued reading the book, it was getting a little bit slower, and I was kind of getting almost annoyed at Richard, who is a male main character. I wasn't really getting annoyed at him per se, but just, I don't know, I just wasn't really enjoying the second half of the book as much as I was the first half of the book. But I still did enjoy the book as a whole a lot. I really loved the premise of this book and all of the characters in this book. I loved the prodigal son / daughter themes in this book, and the romance was super adorable. I loved them from the start. I already saw where it was heading, as you can in most romances, but I saw where it was heading and I was loving it. I couldn't wait for our couple to get together, and they were very cute together. The main character in this book, I'm not great at remembering names, to be honest, but main character, female character in this book, she has a daughter named Brooke, and Brooke is adorable, and like she's like sassy. She's like one of those sassy, I think she's 7 or 8, and she's like sassy and cute and just bubbly and not afraid to like say whatever's on her mind. And she's just so cute. She's by far like my favorite character in the book, and I loved her so much. And I loved her and Richard's bond that they created in this book. I just loved them so much, and I really wanted to see our couple get together and become a family, the 3 of them, because they were just so cute. I loved the small town and the church. This is actually the same church in Small Town that was the Christmas book that I read before. I don't know if I said that in this video or not, but that was really fun to like see some of those characters again, and this actually would have happened before the Christmas novella. But reading this book made me want to read the rest of the series. This is like the last book in the series or something, and it made me kind of sad that I got spoiled, especially with Brianna and Brandon, I think is their names. It goes into detail of what happened in that story and in that book. I don't know what the book is called or anything about that, but yeah, this book was very fun to read. I loved it a lot. I gave it 5 stars. Like I said, the ending did like fall a little bit for me. It picked up again, obviously, whenever the ending happened. Actually, kind of not, because like the second half of the book was kind of slower moving for me, and then you have the like 3rd act breakup event that happened, and that was obviously really upsetting and like just annoying to have happened. But for the most part, I love this book so much and would highly recommend it. It was very cute and very fun, and I loved Brooke. I loved our female main character, whose name I cannot remember. Loved Richard, loved them together, loved the main character's parents, and just the small town, and everything about this book was really good, and I highly recommend. I loved that Richard is like a police officer. I don't know if I've ever read a book where the male main character was like a police officer. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that and would like to read more stories like that. Some other books that I read and didn't really get to talk about. I'm pretty sure I talked thoroughly about Through Each Tomorrow by Gabrielle Meyer. I think I talked thoroughly about Can This Be Christmas, that Christmas novella that I read, and even the dreaded Christmas Pageant. I don't know if I talked about that or not, but I really enjoyed that book too. And I finally wrote my written review for it, so I'll just have that on the screen in case I didn't. I don't want to repeat myself too much if I did already say all my thoughts, but I will have my written review on the screen so that you can read that, so you can get more insight of how I felt about that book. But then I also read Dear Henry, Love Edith, and I've been reading this book for so long, so it feels so good to finally have finished this book. Because it did take me so long, it's kind of lower rated. It's 3.5 stars, and I feel like it had so much potential to be a 5-star for me because I was enjoying it so much. But because it took me so long to read it, and like some of the things that happened were just slow moving for me and like kind of annoying to read, it is kind of like lower rated. And it just also wasn't like my type of book that I enjoy a whole lot, but it still was super funny And if you like romantic comedies, I'm sure this is a great read for someone who like really enjoys that stuff. It is a very good romantic comedy. It had me laughing. It was hilarious. It was funny, and the characters are just funny. And the whole premise of the book is just really ridiculous and funny to me. And I'll also have my written review of that book on the screen as well, just because I don't want to repeat myself too much, and I have no idea what I've already said in this video. It has been like a few days, so I forget everything that I said. So I'll have my written review of that also. I really enjoyed all of the books that I read in this video. Like every single one of them was 4.5 to 5 stars, and I feel like even Can This Be Christmas was a 5-star. That was a really good read too. And so I did end up reading 5 books in this video, which is so much fun, and it's helping me to get to my goal of 120 books this year. I am currently at almost 90. I feel so behind, and it's like almost the end of November, so I feel like there's no way I'm gonna get to 120 books. You never know, I could, but these YouTube challenges really help me out so much. So you're probably going to be seeing a lot more of these in the next few weeks leading up to the new year, just because I do want to try to read as many books as possible and try to avoid these reading slumps that I keep seeming to get into. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm so excited for what is next. I had so much fun reading in this video, and I hope it helps me to get out of my reading slump and to help me reach my goal of 120 books this year read. We'll see if that happens or not, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you subscribe if you did and watch some of my other videos. I have a book reading playlist and I'll have it on the screen, so go ahead and check that out.